Well, gang, the Robotic movie project is off and running. And to date, I've had a staggering 7 views. Maybe 8 by the time you read this. I know it's hard to stand out in this medium, but from the tiny acorn does the mighty oak grow. And while on the subject of tiny acorns, I'd like to get to a topic that we used to cover on Reality Wasted quite a bit. Television. A man named Newton N. Minow once declared that television is a vast wasteland. No argument there. I won't spend time listing all the bad programming from fear of losing too many brain cells. But if it weren't for things like The Daily Show and Colbert, I'd probably lose my collective mind. If you knew me, or at least my sense of humor, you'd probably know that it's a bit unusual. Being unusual, there's a series that seems to have fit me very well lately, and that's the series Community. The series has had a troubled past at NBC due to the network placing it in the same time slot as The Big Bang Theory. Yet, even so, it managed to gain a loyal following. After being fired in 2012, creator Dan Harmon returned this past season, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to prevent the NBC from canceling the series. What is more confusing is what NBC is choosing to replace the series with. A sitcom called Bad Judge with Kay Walsh and something called A to Z with Kristen Milioti, which, quite frankly, looks like a How I Met Your Mother ripoff. Meanwhile, Sony Television was busy shopping Community, trying to find it a new home, and it did. Community premieres this January on Yahoo Screen with the entire cast returning. It used to be only cable networks like AMC were taking chances with new programming. But with the rise of the internet and new media, traditional networks have become less important. As we've seen, there are now a plethora of new programs on various outlets. Hulu, Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime, Crackle, Netflix all offer original programming, and now being enjoyed by Yahoo Screen and the PlayStation Network, which airs Powers based on the Marvel graphic novel coming this January. Series creator Dan Harmon remarked at San Diego Comic-Con that it didn't matter where the show aired, that the fans would find it. With the advent of things like the internet and on-demand programming, it's becoming less and less important for a series to air at a specific time. People want to watch their series on their schedule. Also, not having to bow to censors, it makes it possible to take more chances on a series that wouldn't get a second look on a network, which is one of the reasons why Marvel has landed deals to air both Luke Cage and Daredevil on Netflix rather than a major network. The big problem for the networks is they really don't seem to be doing anything about it, especially NBC. For a network that hasn't had a hit sitcom in a while now, they're going all in on a lot of new shows, yet none of them seem to be anything other than generic run-of-the-mill sitcom staples that we've seen countless times before. Even what they seem to perceive as being edgy, their comedy One Big Happy, about a couple who hires a lesbian to be a surrogate for them, is seemingly ripped off from a Rules of Engagement storyline. And what's replacing Community, the series A to Z, looks so god-awful that I'm tempted to go back and watch the last season of How I Met Your Mother again, bad ending and all. The one big risk being taken this fall seems to be coming from Fox with their series Gotham. In what amounts to a Batman series with younger, hipster versions of famous villains, Fox is choosing to leave out the one element that would make the series interesting and would drive most people to watch the show. That element is Batman. Even in light of things like on-demand and programming being streamed on the internet, it's becoming less and less important for viewers to tune in at the same bat time, same bat channel on a regular basis. And as a result, we're seeing programs that wouldn't have seen the light of day years ago. If anyone were to ask me 10 years ago if Doctor Who would be a popular series in the United States, I would have laughed. Nor would I thought that BBC America would have a series like Orphan Black that would rival anything on a major network. And I certainly would have dreamed that there would be hit shows that aren't on networks at all. I understand why a series like Community wouldn't appeal to a mainstream audience. The premise is different than any sitcom we've seen. The characters are generally unlikable. The situations border from absurd to the outlandish. The main character, Jeff Winger, is snarky, narcissistic, and there's no mom or dad figure to grab onto who gives you the big lesson at the end of the day. These are not nice people. It's not for everyone, but that's exactly the reason why it's appealing, and that's exactly the reason why it's moving to a medium like Yahoo Screen, which honestly I never thought would happen. Then again, I never thought I'd see the Peacock get that desperate that they'd actually try to coax Bill Cosby out of retirement. See you next time.